Right, son.
It helped a little bit moving back slightly.
Well, you're not going to have my face on anyway, most of the time.
Your face right now, but
Oh,
What's the question?
Oh, sorry, I forgot to talk. Do you want me to do them here or squish them gently so they take up less space?
Oh, as far as bundling? It doesn't matter, just as long as it's not too low that it comes apart.
Okay,
But yeah, it might be easier to pick up if you did it higher. Just do it loosely so it's not real mess up the leaves.
got it.
For those of you that are on, we're waiting for everyone to log in to the YouTube.
Fallon said, can you mute your Zoom?
No, because I can't go over there. Nicole? Yeah. Over on the... get the cursor.
Alright, mute all.
No. Down in the bottom corner of the screen there.
Right there.
Yeah, mute me. Yeah, just... That should do it. I keep forgetting to mute that.
you need a sticky note.
I need a better or a less good forgetter.
Well, let you go down there. Scroll down there, it doesn't show, right? So, like it's not just on the
Oh.
screen, so that makes it a lot easier to.
Forget.
Mm-hmm. 26. Tara Spencer is viewing, not allowing her comments.
Who?
It says Tara Dudley says Tara Spencer is viewing, not allowing her comments.
That's,
So does that mean she's on?
well, I guess. What?
I ran into that one time too. She needs to just look at all the little buttons that are on the screen. and make
But it
sure
sounded
she-
like to me like she did that on purpose.
Well, maybe she. That's all right.
I don't know.
So are we up to 28?
28.
All right. Good deal. So your, it's not going to show up very well on my shirt. Your number 9 ribbon. This is acetate ribbon. It's got 2 sides to it. So I'm going to try to be good here and do this down low on the gray.
Oh, sorry. It says it won't let her comments upload, is what she's trying to say. 'Cause somebody said it for her.
I'm not sure what that's all about. She can't get it. She's not viewing it. She might have to go out and come back in. So anyway, back to my ribbon here. There are 2 sides. There's a shiny side and a dull side. Either side can be used as the side you want to show, but be consistent, either using the dull or the shiny side. Now, the length that you're going to need for this first bow, which is going to be kind of a practice, so if you've never made a bow before, don't worry. This is not going to be, may not be the most perfect bow in the world, but you have plenty of ribbon to do some practicing. You're going to need about a yard and a half or so. My table is 3 feet, so I'm going to cut mine off about right there. Save this other piece for later. And then the wire, you don't need full wires to bind your bow, so a half wire will be okay. So I'm just going to cut one of those in half. I have 2. Now, if you're left-handed, you're going to have to reverse the hands. So your dominant hand is the hand you're going to manipulate with. The less dominant or subordinate hand will be the holding hand. So start with the tail coming down over the front of your hand, and I'm using the shiny side as the side that's going to show. So I want to twist this at the top so that what's above my thumb and first finger is going to be a different texture. I'm going to scrunch it and twist all at the same time. So now this is shiny and this is dull at the top. And I'm holding that twist very tightly. It's not a soft twist, it's a real hard, make sure it goes all the way around twist. I'll do that again. So there I'm holding it, scrunch it, and then twist it.
Hold it just like that for a moment and zoom away. Okay?
I'm going to put that there, and I'm not going to go behind that. If someone needs to go out there, that's okay. Now I'm going to roll the top over my thumb. So I'm rolling it around so that my thumb is enclosed or covered by the ribbon. And I continue to roll that. And I use my first 2 fingers, and I'm just going to totally roll it around my thumb. Now I lift my finger off so that I can get the ribbon underneath. And it's just in a little tube. All right, so there's the tail, there's the tube, and then we have most of the ribbon going up on the opposite side. Now when you do that, that means this part that's coming above my hand now is different texture. This is the dull side and these 2 are shiny. So I have to do another twist and hold that under my thumb and first finger so that all 3, the tail, the center, and the top, are all the same texture.
And always twist in the same direction. Always twist in the same direction. Don't next time twist.
Yeah, try not to twist in opposite directions. That way that all the twists will stay easier between your thumb and first finger. Now, the next step, think of this as the center of your bow, which is what it will end up being. We're simply going to make a loop on the top, and then a loop on the bottom, and then a loop on the top, and a loop on the bottom. Different ways to do that. I'm going to make my loop, and I'll turn sideways so maybe you can see this. You have to lift this finger and put the ribbon underneath, and then put your finger back. All right, so that's my first loop. Then I need to always, in my mind, I add to the back of the bow. So this ribbon is in the opposite texture, so I'm going to twist underneath again and hold that in between your thumb and first finger. So, and then I'm going to make my bow loop to the back. So again, I lift this finger, add the ribbon, wrong texture, twist. Another loop on the top, lift, put it back, twist. Same thing on the bottom. Let's just put 3 loops, 3 on each side.
Can you stop right there for a moment?
Mm-hmm.
Questions? No, is anyone ask for questions before you go on?
Yeah. Any questions at this point?
I'm going to zoom in on you.
So I'm almost done with the creating the bow.
That's good. That needs to go this way. Perfect.
All right, and then I'm going to add one more loop on the top, twist, add one on the bottom, and twist, and then I'm done. So I have 3 loops, 1, 2, 3, and then on this side 1, 2, 3. If we were making this a little bit bigger, we'd make the first couple of loops smaller, and then a couple bigger, and then a couple smaller, so it becomes very symmetrical. But for 3 loops, it's not that big of a deal.
Ian said, could you walk back through the start again? He said I blinked apparently.
I'll finish this bow and then I'll do another one. I seem to have lost one of my wires, but that's okay. So now I'm going to take my wire, my half wire that I've already cut, and put it through the center loop. So it's initially it goes on top of your thumb, and then you slide it underneath your thumb. Pull both of those to the back. I'm going to try to show that to you.
Okay, okay, on that.
Now notice how wide it is at the moment. Those are all of my twists in there. You want to make that as narrow and as thin as possible. So before I start twisting the wire, I'm going to pinch that together. And now it's very narrow and tight. And then your wires twist right up next to that. So there shouldn't be any gap between where the wire is and the bow is, or the ribbon. So about 3 twists around and you'll have that all put together. And then, as long as it's tight under there, you can open your bow up and you have your 3 loop ribbon. I'll turn that around. Now you might want to cut your tails. This is a scissor tail or swallowtail cut. Half of the battle with one of these bows is the fluff at the end. And that's make sure that that wire is tight under there. Otherwise they are going to want to, the loops will want to slide back together and it won't stay open. Okay, so that's your number 9 ribbon. I'll set that over on the side. And we have a request for another demo. So I'll do this one more time. So again, we'll need a half wire.
James said, so the loop over your thumb should be too big.
So here's my tail. I'm going to scrunch it and twist so that the top is a different texture than the bottom.
Hang on.
More of this.
And then you roll that over the top of your thumb, like that, and all the way around your thumb so that you're holding it with your thumb and first finger again. Now the tail and the center are the same, but the top is different. So that means we have to do a twist and a hold there. Ribbon wants to.
Lock your hand in place there.
And that's probably the hardest part of the whole bow, is getting these first twists in the center made. So now we're just going to add to the back. Loop on the top. Lift your finger. put it back down, twist. Loop on the bottom, lift, and twist. Sounds kind of like a dance of some sort. And twist. And I'm gonna get all 3 of those on there. Now I will tell you right off the bat, when I first started making bows, I swore that I was going to hire somebody to make all my bows because I couldn't make a bow for anything. But it just takes a little bit of practice, that's all. And then you can sit and watch television and make bows without ever blinking an eye. Now my wire goes in the center and is under your thumb. Pull it to the back. So it's kind of like a hairpin back there. Now this is too wide, so you're going to squeeze and scrunch that all at the same time.
Put your hand in one place and don't move. Okay.
And then twist. Making sure that your wire twist is right up next to the bow base. Pull those out. Fluff your bow. Trim your tails. Sounds like a personal problem. And there's your finished bow. Okay. So what I would like for you to do is make at least one out of your number 9 ribbon, and then use your number 3, your yellow ribbon. Start with the number 9 though, because the number 3 gets a little bit more difficult, I think, and do the same thing and make a couple of bows out of your number 3 ribbon. I'm going to back up. I think when I cut your ribbon, I wanted you to make one bow out of the number 9. Save the other half. Okay, save the other half for another bow method. But do one number 9 and do a couple of them with your number 3. All right, so one number 9 and a couple of number 3s. With that method of bow making. And so I think, changing plans here right off the bat. Barbara, if you could go get me this ribbon, the number 9 maroon.
It's right there on the rack.
I'm going to show you the other technique before we get off the live stream.
Although there's also some colors in there.
I've been making different. So with your extra ribbon, it's another about a yard, it's almost, well, whatever you have left over from your first number 9 sized bow, what I want you to do is roll that into a tube, make that a little bit bigger.
Same number of loops with the number.
Well, you just, whatever you have left over, it should go around about 4, 5 or 6 times. So you're going to have that.
Okay, so they're having a hard time getting their loops on the same side. Is there a particular way to fix that?
Well, they're back on this bow. I'm not.
Okay.
So I'm going to show you both of these techniques, and then we'll talk on the Zoom about technique, and if you have questions, it's too hard to do that in the delay here. So the leftover ribbon goes in a circle just like that. Then you're going to pull it together in the middle, like so. And then I use my side cutters, and you're going to cut a notch that's about not quite halfway through. Then I'm going to turn it over and cut another notch, but not directly across from the first one. Make it offset just a little bit. Okay.
Tilt it up just a little bit so we can see both.
And then I'm going to take my wire, and it goes in those notches. Oops, can't get a hold of it. So I went into the notches, and just like with the other bow, you need to scrunch it together before you start twisting. So pull that together and scrunch it. And then a nice tight twist. Oh, got little triangles all over the place. All right, so it doesn't look like much of a bow yet. The key to this bow is that tight twist and the notches. So that means now I can pull each one of these out. When you pull it, twist it. Pull it out, twist it. Pull it out.
Opposite sides.
Well, if your twisted wire is not tight, these will want to collapse back into each other. And so what you end up with then is more like a package bow with all of these loops. And again, I can cut my tail. So that I have a finished bow that looks like that compared to that. So this is considered a florist bow. This is more of a package bow. They both work perfectly well, but different looks. Okay? So I think at this point, now that you know how to do those two kinds of bows, we'll stop the live stream and we'll go back to the Zoom, and I can answer questions, and you can show me where you are or what questions or processes you're having difficulties with, and I'll try to help you with that. Okay.